So we did a little bit of cleanup, and I fixed a wire, one of the grounds. I still don't like the way the batteries sit, but now we're at 1382. That's not exactly 14, but we're charging now. We were charging before, it's just really a trickle. There's so many electronics in this though. I mean, you got to think everything is going through that block, and then it's going up there before it disperses around the ambulance. But I cleaned these up all nice. I used a brush Dremel bit, so it seems to have cleaned it up. I'm going to do one other thing, then we're going to go driving. And I'll probably put the camera in to drive. So, I didn't do it on camera, yeah. I'm not feeling 100%. We do have good weather today. Sun shines out, a little windy, as you can see by the tent. But we're working on it. Seems to be running okay. So I'm gonna vacuum the inside really quick because there's some stuff that's blown up from out of the blower, and then we're gonna go on a drive. Bye.
So kept saying I was gonna go for a proper spin in the ambulance while you guys could all watch. I'm holding the camera, so it's not like the best. But, you know, we're just going to take a little stroll down the road, turn around and everything. And I did mention I've done some upgrades and stuff. Probably in the last bit of this video, we were working on a issue with the alternator. We thought it wasn't charging. But it is charging. It's just being very odd about it. So here's part of our upgrades. That's the Wolf box. This thing is great. I mean, look at that. I can now see behind the ambulance while we're going down the road. I have a rear view mirror. Something I barely had in the GMC, and something that you don't have in an ambulance. We still have a couple other little things coming. I'm still using the GPS speedometer. I haven't plugged the GPS in on the Wolf box. This is my ride-along partner at the moment, Bane. So no one netted at the moment. We both are getting over this thing. And as you can tell, the weather is subpar. You can hear me coughing. Yeah. So, still working on trying to figure out what all the buttons are for on the dash. I figured out some of them. One of them is the headlight flashers. One of them is the lights for above that I still have to fix. We have the relays for that. They're sitting up here on the dash. I still got to fix spotlights. We have a couple new lights coming to put on the ambulance. I have to do the rear taillight system still. Hate this corner. We still have a little bit too much play in the steering. But I have no real way to fix this myself. I got to take that to a professional. I mean, look at that. You can see how much I'm moving the steering wheel, and this thing is not bouncing around. So, still too much play in the steering wheel. I'm working on it. Once I get a good quote from somebody, or if somebody out there that's watching this would like a crack at helping me, that might actually have a lift or a good floor or something like that, that would be awesome. Because right now, this will not fit in my shop. Even if I cleaned my shop out, this does not fit in there. Yeah. So anyway, what I'm going to do now, because there's a cop behind me, so I'm going to turn the camera off, and we'll continue on down the road and come back a little bit later. All right, now that we have turned back around, There was a, looked like a police cruiser following behind me, but it could have been one of the neighbors. There's a lot of previous law enforcement vehicles, surprisingly, around this town. But anyway, we'll head back to the house. But I wanted to update you guys, let you know we're still alive, still working. The Wolf Box is the biggest upgrade we've done. We do have a list of things that need to be done. Trying to get them done before car show season really starts. We have the whole interior back to do at some point. We actually have a plan on changing the center here, where we kind of have this cruddy looking center console that you can see full of crap. We're going to change that to a jump seat, which will block off the back door. So we won't be using that as a door. It'll probably just be a entrance for the dog. It's not like it's a door anyways. It's too small for most people I know. Type 2 ambulances were not made for anybody over like 100 pounds soaking wet to go through the doorway. More or less, you were getting out of the passenger seat, opening up that door, getting into the back. That's what you were doing. But anyway, got some things to do. I want to get these spotlights figured out since there's no high beams on this. The high beam switch does not work. I could probably replace it, but I mean, I've got these spotlights. If I can get them figured out why they're not working, then I have lights for pitch black, which in Washington, being out in the country, pitch black is not a thing except for during the winter when there's a lot of cloud cover. Maybe during the early spring, mid-fall. But other than that, it's really not that bad up and down this road until you get to about right here, and then it starts seemingly getting dark, and then you have to worry about running people over. Crazy to walk down this road, but people do it. I like the people who walk down this road with reflective vests or flashlights. That's awesome, but there are some that don't. You may recognize this road from videos from other YouTubers. Seems that there is a couple that use this road on a regular basis during their test drives, which is cool. I didn't realize it till I started living out here and going up and down this road a lot. But anyways, we're getting right back towards the house, so we'll get back to you in a little bit. And now that we're back at the house with the radio, or not the radio, the engine off, you can see this is the Wolf Box. This is the G930 or 60. I'll correct myself down below in text. I'll do it down here. But anyways, you got a couple settings from right here. Brightness, changing the camera. There's the front camera. There's one of the side off. It splits it. And you can take photos with it, which is really cool. You can talk to the darn thing, all sorts of stuff. Oh, look, there's an Annette trying to figure out where we were going. She's going to come over here and she's going to open up the door and be like, what are we doing? Oh, no, she's going to pick on Bane. Well, I was recording a little bit of a video. Plus, I took Bane for a ride.
Hey, Beanie.
Ow, ow. That tail is dangerous. So, Bane is our rescue. You may have seen a little bit of him in some of the little shorts I did. He is a Dojo Argentino. He looks like a pit bull. This is not a pit bull. He is much bigger than a pit bull. And he is such a sweet little boy to need a new home. We gave him a new home. So he's doing pretty good. When we got him, he was skin and bones. I mean, bad skin and bones. You could count his ribs really good. And we've only had him a little while and got a little bit of floof on him now. So he's doing much better. He's very, very active, very, very happy, very, very drooly. I don't know if you can see it. He's drooling right now. But anyway, so back to what I was saying. We do have upgrade parts coming that we're going to be putting in this. We're going to remove this system that I was trying to do. Actually, I could leave it in here. I just got to figure out how to power it properly. But it'll probably... It may go the way of the dinosaur. I don't know yet. It is drilled into the dash, so that would hurt the dash, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. For now, it's here. We're not going to put a radio in. We were going to replace the radio, but we're not going to replace the radio now. Instead, I'm just going to trace the power and antenna and stuff, and we'll put a CB in here. Let's put a CB radio in here. I have one in the shop in there behind the Volkswagen. Instead, we're just using this. It works really good actually in here. I do have replacement of these. Replace these, and that way Annette has one on her side, so she's not being blinded by the light. And then all that'll be left that we can't do until a little bit later on in the season when it's dry on the ground, or if I can get somewhere where I can pull this inside, we need to drop the fuel tanks, because this doesn't work at the moment, and it isn't the cluster, it's the sending unit. And then we're also, when we get some of the lights that we're getting, are going to try to trace down this solar panel and either remove it or put it somewhere different than where it's sitting at, because it's sitting where the light bar needs to go. And I found out that my e-brake release doesn't work, because when they did this system here, I just noticed the camera was out of focus. When they did this system here, this thing, besides the fact that half the wiring is wrapped around the e-brake cable, they unbolted this. There's no bolt here. This is just flopping around loose. So I can't even use the e-brake, which is right behind this. Maybe I'll fix that so that we can have an e-brake again and not worry about this rolling down a hill. So right now, what I'm going to do, we have no real good working internet. I'm going to go inside, edit some video, and when the internet comes up, I'll post this on the YouTubes. So for now, we will catch you later. Bane. Bane. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. I guess that's his goodbye. He just looked at the camera and turned away.
Smacked his tail too.
Yeah. All right. Bye, everyone.